And I went that whole year just sacrificing. I literally bagged up all my sneakers, all my Gucci, my Louis Vuitton. I bagged them all up. I put them in the basement. I said, I ain't buying no designer. I'm not doing no designer all 2019. I went to Walmart. I got me a $14 pair of Walmart sneakers. I went through the whole 2019. In 2019 alone, I went to 20 countries.
Wow.
My sneakers, bro, them $14 sneakers, $21 sneakers, them sneakers went to more countries than some people went in their whole life.
Welcome back to another installment of Wheels and Wealth. Today we have joining us Maurice Bowman, better known as Runway Billionaire, who has brought the Wimbledon edition, Coco Golf US Open winning Lamborghini Urus S with us. He is I'm not even going to call you a tattoo artist, you're a tattoo artisan and marketing genius extraordinaire who has really come on set with us today to share some true gems about how to get to $1 million in 6 months, if I read your IG correctly, from 0 to $1 million in 6 months, and how to go over, 0 to $3 million in 6 months and beyond. So without further ado, welcome to Wheels and Wealth.
Glad to be here, man.
All right,
it's
man.
an honor.
So where does your story begin? I always like our guests to kind of tell us where you're from, where your passion for whatever it is you're doing now, because you are a serial entrepreneur. You have your hand in several different pots, but we want to know where you come from, what led you to this point, and then we really want to dig in on how to do what you do. So let's share some secrets.
Let's do it. So I'm from the streets of Philadelphia. I was born there. I got, similar backgrounds that I feel like a lot of people could relate to. Mom was on drugs. Dad wasn't there. Come from very humble beginnings. We lived in a shelter. My mom got herself together, and then we moved in an apartment uptown in Philadelphia, and pretty much, had what we needed to have, but then had the best of everything.
So I'm going to ask you to even go back on that, right? We can't just glance over that.
Yeah.
There's so much there. What part of Philly are you from?
Uptown.
Originally? Uptown?
Yeah.
Gotcha. And you said your mom was on drugs and your dad was on drugs?
My mom was on drugs and my dad wasn't there.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And you said your mom got herself well?
She rehabilitated herself, but she was a functioning addict. So she was good enough to still do her thing and go to work every day. I'll say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep.
So she got her act together roughly around what age for you?
So as I remember, I recall it being like 3 years old. Like I remember living in a shelter.
You can remember that far back?
Yeah, because it was a very memorable situation that happened that I still carry it with me today.
Okay.
So when we lived in the shelter, we had to bring our own food in. It was on 22nd in Indiana. It might still be there, I don't know. But I remember they cut the lights off and they closed the kitchen down at a certain time. And I remember telling my mom I was hungry. We had just got cereal from like Murray's at the time. And we brought the cereal in, but it was past the time. I remember I was going downstairs, my mom having the attitude because she knew the kitchen was closed and it was the end of the night. I remember her going to the lady and basically being like, yo, my son hungry, this, that, and the third. And the lady nah, I can't, because if I do it for you, I gotta do for somebody else. And I remember my mom not taking no for an answer, just settling for no. So she convinced the lady, look, here you go, hurry up. Don't tell nobody I did this for you. So that was a highlight in my life that I remember about that specific situation, and I held on to that. So that was when we lived in a shelter when my mom came back from rehab. So she got herself together enough to get an apartment, and then we pretty much, moved uptown.
Okay.
Yep.
And things started improving in your life from that point on?
I wouldn't say improve because I still grew up on a block where they sold drugs. So that was my reality every day. My pop wasn't present, so that was another thing that I had to deal with. I'm going to school with hand-me-downs from my uncle, stuff like that. But other people had their parents, and it wasn't until I got older that I realized okay, cool, now I got a deeper understanding of why my dad wasn't there. Because it wasn't a thing that was oh, he wasn't attempting to be there. It was more so yo, if I had a baby mom that drank, that used drugs, and my mom is a firecracker, Like, you don't want no smoke. You get what I'm saying? So it's just like, it's always a confrontation just to talk to me, just to get me. And then like my mom, like, oh, I'm gonna put you on child support. So I think like just my dad mentality was just like, you know what, like I wanna be there, but with everything that it comes with, like, you know what I'm saying? Like my mom throwing hammers, my mom wanna fight. Like it's that level of stuff like that, to where it's just like, man, to see, like, I don't want to put myself in a position to see my son, I'm gonna have to go to jail, I'm gonna have to like hurt this woman or something like that.
Do you guys have a relationship today?
Best friend.
Your father?
Yeah, best friend. Talk to him every day. Tell me he love me every day.
Wow.
And I think that it's more so of like who I became now, and knowing that everything that I went through to be in this position that I am is kind of like, maybe it's guilt, maybe it's like, you know what I mean, dang, I could have fought a little harder. You get what I'm saying? Like just knowing mentally what I had to fight through to get in the position that I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then also him seeing how I'm a father to my kids. I'm pretty sure like it's like, you know what I mean, it's probably some stuff there. Like we settled it, but I don't think that we ever had a conversation about it, but like we solid, super solid.
Will you?
To be honest, I don't know if it's necessary.
Okay.
Because I feel like we got to understand it to where as though it's like, you know, like, I know he feel that way, but it's just like, I don't even think he want to like relive the embarrassment of it. It's like more so like, how could I be there for you now? How can I, you get what I'm saying? So,
Gotcha.
and I have an understanding of why he wasn't there. So it's more so like, you know what I mean? Like, what would I have done in that position? Right, because I got kids with like multiple mothers. So like, if that was my reality, how would I have played it, or how would I have, you know what I mean, dealt with it?
See, I'm so glad you decided to open up about that, because I'm not gonna say you tried to glance over it, because you didn't try, but that was, you just were going smooth past that, and it's so important that people hear these things. Immediately listening to you, I think about one of my closest friends.
Yeah.
And his story is the same, just in reverse a little bit. He was raised by his mother, but his father was on drugs.
Yeah.
And if he was here, I can't tell his story, but he's the only other person I ever heard talk about shopping at Murray's.
Yeah.
Right? Which is like the bootleg, you know, supermarket where probably the most unhealthy food exists. I guess this is what I'm taking that from him. This is what he told me. But he spoke about his father being a good father up until a certain point, and I don't know what age that was, but that was the age he got hooked on drugs.
Yeah.
And, you know, to this day, they don't really have a relationship. So it's very, very interesting to hear that. Okay. So let's fast forward a bit.
Yeah.
If I understand some of your story correctly, your first true career path and first business ownership path was in tattooing.
Yep. Okay. I came straight out of high school. So, like, with all of the things that like I saw outside, I always took an interest in just art, just drawing. Like we'd go to Murray's, we'd get cereal, bootleg cereal. I'll draw the characters on the cereal box.
Okay.
I'll draw the cartoon characters that I watch on TV. And that was pretty much like, you know, my reality, like what I did like that. And I found enjoyment for that. So that creative side was just there. When I was in school, I draw my homework, my schoolwork, like all of those things. And my teachers curse me out for it all the time.
Okay.
So I did have a level of smartness that, you know, that just I excelled very fast. I understood. I caught on very quick. So I was always like, you know what I'm saying, finish before everybody else, that type of thing. So just the concept of like school very early on just wasn't really something that I was into. Like I would get done my work and then probably do something, start talking or something because I'm bored and everybody else not done. You get what I'm saying? So I was one of those kids that always had to like keep my mind going to like, you know, kind of like escape my reality. But right out of high school, I was in high school. We skipped school. We went to a guy's house that did tattoos. And I didn't cut school. I had a work schedule. So I just want to make sure, you know what I'm saying, we want to skip one of my
I don't know what to believe because you started off with we skip school.
Yeah, well, well, the idea was to skip school. They skipped school. Right. I didn't. Gotcha. I had a work schedule, again, because I was always ahead. But we essentially, I guess, like, you know what I mean, we left school. We went to this guy house that did a tattoo, and everybody knew that I did art. So I wound up drawing a couple people tattoos there, and the dude there said, you should do tattoos. And I took that as LeBron James telling me I should play basketball. Like if LeBron, the person that's doing it,
Gotcha.
who's doing the craft telling you that you should do it, like then you should do it.
And he was nice.
I didn't know what nice was at the time.
Okay.
Like I had no knowledge of this world or this field. Like this was my first introduction. So my first introduction of ever like me putting a pen on somebody's skin to like draw something out and just freestyle it, the person that's doing it, that's essentially making money, is telling me that I should do it. So I couldn't let that idea, that concept, like just leave. So what I did was I went home, I did like a bunch of research. The dude was like, yeah, grab my number. He was like, I'll show you. So I was like, man, you know what? I'm gonna take him up on this offer. I called this guy and he acted like he didn't know who I was.
After telling you should
After
tattoo.
telling me I should do it. And I was like that lit a fire under me, because it goes back to my mom not taking that no for an answer. I was like, I'm not just going to take this no. And I approach a lot of things like that in the business. So literally, I went online, I researched, I found me tattoo supplies that was online, a place that we could order from. They delivered it to the house. I grabbed my friend at the time.
How old are you at this time, around 17?
18.
18.
Yeah, so I'm like, I got like 1 year left in school. So I grabbed my friend at the time. I do this half sleeve on his arm. His first tattoo, my first tattoo. I do this half sleeve on his arm. This dude, like, yo, my mom gonna kill me. I'm like, shut up, you 18? There's nothing she could do. I can't get in trouble, you can't get in trouble, just shut up. So I did his half sleeve. We go to school, like literally I was doing that tattoo all night. I remember like it was yesterday. I started a tattoo probably like 8 at night. I didn't finish till like 5 in the morning. Like we literally had enough time to clean up the tattoo, jump in the shower, and then get ready to go to school. He goes to school, shoulder, you know what I'm saying, sleeve up, everybody see it, game over.
Wow.
Game over. Like I literally, within a couple of weeks, I had a line of people outside my house. Like I'm talking about my mom cursing me out, you're not gonna have all these people in my house, this, that, or third. But I felt like where the light bulb really went off is some girls cut school with me to go get their tattoos after they saw that tattoo.
I love the way you keep saying like these other people.
Yeah, because I had a work schedule, you know what I'm saying? But they cut school with me.
Right.
And like by 3 o'clock, I had already made like $380.
Which is a lot of money, especially
at that time.
At that time. Yeah.
What? I'm in high school, $380, and we cut, like I got out at like 11:10 every day. So like in 3 hours to make $380 from, and I was charging a lot less at the time. I went in the bathroom about 3 o'clock. I went and counted the money. I remember it vividly, March 16th. I remember the exact day. I'm like, this is crazy. March 16, 2008. It was the day I walked in that bathroom. I counted and I had $380, and I was like, I'm never gonna work for nobody ever again. Like,
so that was the moment.
This is gonna be the thing that's gonna take me out the hood.
Wow.
And I focused on that.
Did you have any tattoos yet at the time?
Yeah, yep. I actually got my first tattoo when I was 13. My dad took me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so like I convinced my dad to like let me go. We lied about my age and everything.
I promise you, if I came home with a tattoo at any point in my life, while my father was living, we wouldn't be able to have this interview today because I'd be dead.
Yeah.
Like truly. I still don't have any tattoos, but I want one. In my mind, I want one really, really badly. And I'm the type of person, like, it's like all or nothing almost. So like I feel like if I did do it, and I have my reasons for not doing it, but if I did, let's say, go against the grain on that, I'm probably gonna go big, like
all right, so
an entire like arm sleeve or something.
Can I tell you a funny story that I never, like, it's not funny, but can I tell you like what I never told nobody this?
You about to tell a lot of people this.
I'm about to tell a lot of people this.
All right.
My third tattoo that I ever got was on my face.
You crazy.
So I literally had 2 tattoos that was on my body before I got my facial tattoo. And I was in school with 2 tattoos on my arm and a facial tattoo.
So let's talk about that, because I have some real questions about the facial tattoo. Seriously. Like you know, what do they say? The oh my God, they say the egg, I don't know the damn saying. It's about something about the chicken being somewhat committed to the process, and then the pig is really like fully committed with the breakfast because they got to die to get the bacon or whatever. But
Gotcha.
anyway, you're committed to entrepreneurship because I think, and I could be wrong, I don't know, if 2023 is any different in corporate America, but
Yeah.
I highly doubt that, sitting down in an interview that, as I notice it, is the hairline, the cheek,
Yeah.
eyelids,
Yeah.
head, all of these things. What possessed you to do that? When I say possessed, I don't mean in a bad way, but I mean like what inspired you, I guess, to do that? Because I see that and I'm like, there's no way in the world that I would ever do that.
So this was before I was even tattooing. So like this was before I even discovered. So we went to what was a tattoo party at the time. And I was like, I tell my mom, I'm like, Mom, like I just need a couple dollars. I want to go get another tattoo. She like, cool, get whatever you want. Like I'm there, and I'm like, I'm gonna get this on my face.
Yo.
And like legit did it, and I came home, and my mom was like, why would you do that to your handsome face? Like why? Like you gonna mess your life up? And like at the time, it was like that let me know like you can't tell your dreams and your goals to like even your parents or the ones that's close to you, because somebody might not see it. But I knew whatever I decided to do, it was not going to involve me being in the cubicle or me being me sitting down and just having a traditional life or just living to the standard. Like I already knew it. Like I already knew like the mold of my life just was not going to fit in somebody else's standards, and it just was like. I'm just like, whatever it come with, like I was ready to deal with whatever it came to the next level.
I will say this, it says a lot about stereotypes.
Yeah.
Because prior to, I guess, the past handful of days and the one time we met on an initial handshake, we've kind of been getting to know each other a little bit over the past few days, and I think you're brilliant.
Thank you.
Brilliant business mind.
Yep.
I think you're brilliant, and I know it's not just me. Like if I'm walking down the street and I see somebody with tattoos on their face coming towards me, especially in Philly right now, a skinny dude with tattoos is my worst nightmare.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know what's about to happen here, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now I'm thinking strategically, and you speak to you, and you are this brilliant business mind that is out here absolutely killing it. So it does say a lot about looking beyond an appearance on someone.
I think it actually worked in my favor. Like when you look at models, you look at rappers, you look at entertainers, they all got a look. Like you look at a successful person, they all got a look. So I think that the look is important. But one of the things that I used, because I felt like I was being stereotyped my whole life. So like even from the kids, just the way that everybody else dressed from the way that I dressed when I went to school, I had hand-me-downs. So like even the way that I dressed, I didn't look like them. So I felt like my whole life, what people would call like an outcast, or I just always felt like that it was an outsider. So me like embracing like who I really was and being different from everybody else, I'm like, shit, I've been like this my whole life. I didn't have a regular life like most of the kids that I went to school with. You get what I'm saying? Like they probably had stuff going on, but like I didn't feel like it was the stuff that I was going through. So what it allowed me to do is it allowed me to be scared, but scared to do what everybody else was doing. So when I saw things that was outside, like I see people selling drugs and I see the dudes growing up on block, they falling in line with that. I'm falling away from it because I'm scared to do what everybody do, because it looks good for the moment, but then later on in life you find yourself sitting in the same position because you don't have the vision. So like for me, it was just always, just to be 100% authentic myself, and to do what I feel right, despite what, the standard is, of America. And it worked very well for me when, I'm in rooms and I'm talking to people who got the tie on like you, and they corporate people, because...
Hold up, Doug. I ain't been corporate in a long time. We talked about this off camera, all right? I have
the good tie on today.
I have a fleet of Tom Ford ties that I don't get to wear as much anymore.
Exactly.
And, I decided to break it out for you.
No, I'm
don't
saying...
hit me with the corporate joint.
I'm saying it in a good way. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when I'm amongst people like you who decided to, dress and put that attention into, their appearance, because I feel like it's important, right? But like for me, I felt like if I dress how you dress, it would come off more skeptical than how I dress right now. And then also I feel like it's a leverage tool because I actually use that as a marketing tool because I know people are going to look at me and the first thing that they're going to think is, man, I don't know. But then when I open my mouth,
Yeah, it's crazy.
I know that I speak volume and I know how to articulate myself. They like, hold up, this guy talking about something. So this is how I was able to like land deals with CNN, Philadelphia Eagles, T-Mobile, you know what I mean, Coca-Cola. I was able to, do those deals not based on how I look, but how I didn't look,
Nice.
based on how I talk. So, one of the things that my grandmom taught me was mannerism will take you places that money can't. And like that's big for me. So like my integrity, how I treat people, like all those things is big for me because, okay, yes, very successful, I'm brilliant, but how I treat those people because you never know who's gonna have a hand on that door. They could open or they could close it on you. So I just was always just using how I look as a leveraging tool as well, even in my marketing.
I think that's incredible. And we spend a lot of time on the tattoos, and it fascinates me because I'm telling you, like I want one. I want several.
We gotta get you.
I've kept it at bay for a long time. I've really managed to keep myself in order. Like I would love to be normally dressed like this, and then I roll my sleeves up and I got the full drink.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
I've been keeping it at bay for a while. So before we move on to the business side, out of curiosity, do you know how many you have, or have you lost count?
I don't, bro. Whole body cover. Like I
full
got
bodysuit.
Yeah, I got tattoos on my head. Like I shaved my head. I got tattoos. Legs done. Yeah. Arms, chest, back. Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's a commitment.
So you started at 18. Have you ever worked in a shop, or did you always work for yourself?
So I had my little opportunities where I went and I wanted to explore because I wanted to get more so the side of the business and how it worked. But it never really worked out because it wasn't my pace of work. So I had like opportunities where I went, I did like a day there, and I'm like, I don't like how it's set up. I can't communicate with the client. It felt like I was, and there's nothing wrong with being the employee, but I didn't feel a part of the business.
Okay.
I wanted to be something that I felt like I was a part of, so I just pretty much created my own thing. I did have a job for like a couple months before I start tattooing, where I had an interview and my mom was like, well, they're not gonna hire you with that with that on your face.
Seriously.
And I was just at a at a point where I'm getting older. I live with my mom and I want to contribute because she been holding this stuff down so so long, and I just want to be a man and I want to contribute to the household. So I went and got a little job at like dietary, and my mom had put foundation on a joint for me. Went to the interview, and then when my probation was over, like when I had made that money, I had went in there.
Tattoo on your face.
Like I ain't had no makeup, probation period over, and they was like, what's that?
So you were the epitome of the 52 fake out.
Oh, for sure.
100%.
For sure.
Right.
For sure.
Your representative showed up.
The next day.
For the probation period.
The next day on the schedule, I had no days. They took your boy off. But again, I was already committed to my process, so it was all good. But
So, all right, so with that said, you started at 18. Did you ever have your own brick and mortar shop?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yep. So what happened was this business is so demanding and it took off so fast because I was committed. I wasn't I didn't start out as the person like, oh yeah, these are my working hours, I'm off Sunday. Like I treated it like a 24/7. Like if you left the club at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, you could call my phone and get a tattoo. Because like I believe like this is what was going to change my life. So I was willing to do like whatever it took to like get me to the next level.
There's so much right there. So if you believe in what you do, and not even just being passionate about it, but you have a belief in your business. Yeah. What I'm hearing, at least, I don't think everybody will agree with this, but there are no such things as working hours. You're on.
Yeah, you on. And again, like I had so many years of not being able to have a quality of life, not eat right, not travel, like, not all, like, so I had so much of just being in the same surroundings. I was like, yo, if I see people on TV all the time, like, it gotta be something. And I was just in search for something, and I was like, yo, if I can make the money then I can put myself in that environment where I need to be. So literally 3 months after I graduated, 3 months, I was already, like, I had already outgrown my mom apartment. She was talking to me about, like, you can't keep having these people in here. And then I give her some money for the bills and she'll simmer down.
She'll calm down.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Things like that. But I started to see, you know, like what it was growing to. I saw the true potential of it. And in 3 months, I had got an apartment that was right up the street. So I didn't do too much moving. I had did that for about 4 years. I started to put other people in position like that was under me. So I already had this business mind very early before I even had the brick and mortar. And what happened is one of the lessons that I learned, and again, it's all about how you treat people, and it's all about sticking to your process, not rushing your process, but trusting your process. It was a guy who we had got shut down at the house. Like, they came, put the stop work order at the house, and I was like, dang, like, what am I going to do? This was the first time in 5 years where I felt like I was challenged to, challenged in a point to where as though I felt like my income and all of these things were, on a downhill. And I feel like every time you get a challenge in life, God, life, however you want to put it, has a way of backing you into a corner and repositioning itself to make you go to the next level, right? Like, no, you been was supposed to make this move. You playing now. You got to go ahead and move. So I started to be in search for like shops and all of that stuff. And I was walking down to the gas station. I see a guy. He like, hey, I'm opening up a tattoo shop. I own a barber shop across the street. I'm like, yo, this is
opportunity. Just was there, time and everything.
I'm like, what is the odds? Again, this is the universe aligning itself. So I took him up. I was paying $250 a week, which was nothing. But here's what I want to say. That dude had no tattoo background.
Okay.
He just owned a shop. His dad owned like 5-6 properties on that block, and was putting his son in position to, be able to eventually turn that business over to him. You always want to treat the opportunity like it's yours. He didn't pay his pop for like 8 months. But because I was there every single day, his dad saw me coming, being in there every single day, cleaning up, sweeping outside, like treating the business like it was mine, that when the opportunity came, he had to evict his son. This is son, like his blood son. And his dad had my number. He said, would you like to rent the shop? And I was like, you goddamn right. I want to rent the shop. So it just was one of those things where, preparation meet opportunity, that type of thing. Treating it like it was mine before it was really mine. And that process went like a year, and then I actually had it. And when I got the shop, like when I actually opened it, I became the youngest black tattoo shop owner in the world.
Wow. How many years were you in business?
So I was in business. I've been doing it for 15 years. I had that shop for about 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
Employees or just you?
No, I had employees and everything.
Okay, so you had a shop.
Yeah, I had a shop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before you transitioned out of tattooing, how much were you making doing that?
We was doing about, me personally, I was doing about $15,000 to $20,000 a month, just solo, just as me, as my income. And then the shop was generating like another $30,000, $40,000 a month.
That is insane.
Like with, with percentages and all that, we was grossing about 18,000, 15, 18,000 just from like shop revenue.
That's what you were netting?
That's what we was grossing, like after all expenses.
That's net.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So now I want to get to the phase of life where you're transitioning out of that.
Yeah.
And because people who know Runway today, right, and they're familiar with the social media presence, they're familiar with who you are, they know you to have a lot of tattoos, but they may not know you to be from the tattoo business. They know you from a whole different side of things. So what I want to speak to you really about, and what I want you to talk about, is that journey. Okay, what does that look like to recognize the opportunity to start making vertical jumps and transitioning out of the tattoo business to where you are today with the marketing agency and the steps that were in between there?
Yeah, so the thing was, in 2018, I started to feel that same way, like when they put that sticker on my door. But the only thing, I was legitimized now. So It wasn't like nobody to come in to put the sticker on my door, but I felt that I had to move. I felt like it was time to like level up, and it was.
What do you mean they put the sticker on your door?
Like, so when
oh,
they
when they put when they
when they
to get
shut
out
me
of the
down,
house.
yeah, because I was doing it in the house.
Gotcha.
And the craziest thing is, I just want to go back for a second. The same lady that shut me down was the same lady that opened the doors for the shop, and she was like, "Yo, like I'm proud of you because most people, like in the house, I was already like I had people filling out paperwork. It was already a business.
Right.
I just wasn't doing it in a commercial building. I was doing it residential. So she was just like, you know, I hate to do this to you, but you know, it's the law is the law, the code is the code. This is how this works. Business is business. So, so basically, I felt like I was on a treadmill. Like, you know what I mean? I felt like it was this. I was living the same year over and over every single time. Like, all right, I'm making $15,000 a month.
The same year with more money.
No, the same year with the same money.
It was stagnant.
Yeah, like I felt like I had hit a ceiling. And just being transparent, I'm looking at guys that have been in the game 20 years, 30 years, and I'm looking at their life, and I'm looking at where they're at in their life, and they don't have a smile on their face, they stressed out, and I'm like, dang, like, is that what 20 years in the game look like? Is that what 20, 30 years in the game look like? Because if so, like, I need to start making some moves right now. So I just really just started to think about all of the other things that I wanted to do. Like most people, before you make a jump, you like, man, what could I do? And you know what I mean? You contemplating on what's gonna be that move because you don't wanna risk everything that you built for all of these years. And really what I did was I had this thought in the middle of the night. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, yo, if I don't move, I'm gonna die behind this chair.
Wow.
And for me, like that was so big, and that might be extreme for people that's watching this, but not really I'm gonna die behind this chair, but we talking about 12, 16-hour days. There've been times where I come in the shop 9 a.m. and leave out 6:30, go home, get the kids, go drop them off, and I'm right back at 12. So it's like that was like a regular week for me. You get what I'm saying? And I was like, man, I gotta start positioning other things. So I started to open up other businesses. I opened up a hair salon and nail salon right next door. And I just like gave other people the position to, you know, use their talent to like generate revenue because I was good at marketing. We got butts and seats. We all made money. 70% of our demographic from the tattoo shop was females. Moving right over to the hair salon, nail salon. You know what I mean?
Did you co-own those businesses with those businesses with a hairstylist and a nail tech, or you owned it flat out and just you hired the people to be in there?
So I was going into it with a friend at the time, and it just didn't work out because I always felt like I wanted to empower the people that was around me, and I wanted to build it up with, you know, my so-called day ones, as we say. And it just didn't work out, you know what I'm saying, for more so financial reasons, for more so personal and professional. He had some personal things going on that I thought that we had squared away, like on a personal level, like, yo, you know, I got kids. If we going into this business, I wouldn't do nothing to jeopardize you. You wouldn't do nothing to jeopardize me. So it was just some things there where it made me question like our real friendship.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't about the money. It was about the principles, integrity, and like, you know what I mean, what we doing. So I wound up going in that business solo. And then we opened up a lash studio across the street. Which was with one of my other friends at the time.
So what year are we in? Just
this
to keep track of
2018.
This? 2018.
Like every 2 months, I was opening up a new business.
I'm hearing at this point, 10 years and up to this point in the tattoo game, if my timeline is correct, you are making roughly about $180 a year.
Yep.
And now you've started these other businesses.
Yep.
Okay, keep going.
Yep. So, and then I started to really just identify like the marketing was really the key, because so many people came to me like, bro, how are you marketing all these? But they not.
Well, how were you marketing those businesses? What were you doing?